What is good, you guys? I know it's been a while, but been doing a little bit of this and that here and there. Nothing really extreme or anything cool to share. But today I do have something nice for us to go over. So my headphones are really loud right now. That scared the crap out of me. What is someone doing to their microphone? Okay, so sorry, I turned that down. So what we have here is a client build for whom will not be named. I don't share client names anyways, so it's not like it matters. Sadly, I'm really bad with names, so I forget them half the time. But we have his computer here, which we have a lot of expensive hardware just laying on this table, and we're going to go through it and kind of walk you guys through everything he had purchased here. So right here, I think he said he got everything mostly off Amazon. I think he said all of it was bought brand new as well. He just brought me all the parts and wanted me to put it together for him. So the first thing we're looking at here is a nice, if I can get it to focus and hold it upside down, I'm gonna flip it around here so I can hold it right side up. It's not focusing. Well, if you can tell how big it is, yes, it is a 8-core 5960X beast of a CPU, very pricey, which is why we're gonna stick it back in here very gently and make sure nothing happens to that. Things with the motherboard, he didn't bring the boxes for the motherboard or anything, but you know, SATA cables, that's what all this random assortment of stuff, the I/O plate. We have a cooler. Now I've never actually used this cooler, but I have seen it. Watched a few reviews on it before. So this is the V8 GTS by Cooler Master. It's a beastly, gigantic, friggin' huge cooler. We have 5 140 Corsair fans. We'll be using those too. And for the graphics card, which is another nice thing. Now, once again, this is another beast of a piece that I had yet to really see too much of. Haven't had the pleasure of holding one of these really. So hold on. I like to be a little gentle with people's stuff. So this is a 390, I believe, 390X. I can't remember. It's the Asus Strix model. I'm looking on the back. Yeah, it's in R9 390, yes. And I will say this is definitely one of the biggest GPUs I've held. Not the heaviest though. The Gigabyte WindForce one's a little heavier than this. But this is definitely a beast of a card, and we're looking at a 6-pin plus 8-pin. Full backplate on it, everything. Very nice card, very beefy GPU there. Next, we have, I guess we'll do this real quick. If you guys haven't seen one of these, possibly one of the most expensive hard drives I've had my hands on. As we can see there, an 850 Pro 2TB SSD. Very expensive. Once again, the guy didn't pulled out all the stops for his PC. He bought some of this, some thermal fusion, Cooler Master paste. You know, we'll use that too because he bought it. We have right here a Western Digital Black 6TB hard drive, which we'll also have to be setting up for him. Asus optical drive, you know, meh. So let's go ahead and put this back in here real quick. I don't know if my camera can look, I guess, downward, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm just putting it there for a second because I like to use 2 hands when dealing with people's expensive stuff. It's not worth dropping anything. So there we go. Put that away. So this motherboard comes with a whole bunch of stuff. He just kind of started throwing things at me, like just a bunch of wrappers, and he didn't actually throw them at me, but yeah. So I mean everything from some extra USB 3.0 ports, which we will be installing. I think these are extra fan headers. That's what they look like. They look like fan headers, but I can't really see. I'll have to open it up and take a look at it. Lots of SATA cables. I haven't seen a motherboard come with this many SATA cables before. We have our M.2 PCI slot expansion card, the Wi-Fi antenna, and these thingies, which are awesome to have. A 3-way SLI bridge. That's neat. I would assume that this is a thermal probe. I'll have to look at the manual. But I assume that's a thermal probe, like a thermal thing. And last but not least, in a Ziploc baggie, because that's how he rolls, we have Corsair Vengeance. How many is this? 4 8 gig sticks, so 32 gigs of DDR4 memory at, I didn't read the speeds before I put them away, 2666 megahertz. So this will be the first X99 platform that I've had the opportunity to put together. Sadly, this stuff is not for me. We have the motherboard right here. Yeah, maybe someday I will be upgrading to the X99, but for right now I'd rather water cool my PC. So right here, I'm popping this out for you guys. We have the Asus Deluxe X99 motherboard. You know, the 8 RAM slots and all sorts of ridiculous features that honestly I don't think this guy is going to necessarily need. But yeah. So you guys are probably asking questions. We'll actually go over the power supply. Let me stick this back in the bag. We'll go through the power supply and then I'll answer some questions that I feel like some people are going to think about asking, to hopefully maybe stop them from asking. I don't know. They probably still will. The internet's a really dangerous place. So, power supply, Corsair HX 1000i, fucking 80 plus platinum. So, a very nice, expensive, very good power supply. And anyways, you guys might be wondering, why would someone spend this much money on things like a 2 terabyte hard drive for SSD, a 6 terabyte Western Digital Black, and you know, $500 motherboard and a $1,000 CPU, but only get a 390? Well, this guy's not a gamer. Even though all of this high-end stuff basically screams gamer, the guy's not a gamer. He doesn't play games. Obviously, he's going to get a GPU because he's got the high-end computer and he wants probably, you know, the advantages of using OpenCL, but he does video editing. So that's where the CPU comes into play with the motherboard and the DDR4 and lots of RAM, and obviously having the video card there for the OpenCL for rendering videos. But he does a lot of 4K video editing, not just your normal video editing. He handles a lot of 4K videos. But he also likes his computer to look nice and stuff like that, so obviously he's not going for like the server style, you know, dual Xeons for that kind of editing. He wants, you know, like kind of the cool consumer grade computer, but can handle heavy workloads. So also we have the case. We have the Carbide 540 Air 540. So there it is, you guys. Never actually built in this case. I was debating on buying it for myself. Instead of the Thermaltake Core V21 that I have, and I was still thinking about getting it because it is a white case and I really do like the white, and I mean, you can get it in black, but I like the white. And I'm thinking that maybe I'll pick it up. I don't know. I'm gonna build in it right now and see how it feels and what it's like, and that'll mostly decide if I actually get it for myself or not. But yeah, that's just the quick parts list. There'll be more on the computer, probably some like build updates as it goes on, because I'll probably start putting it together. But anyways, you guys, yeah, we'll be back with more. So first thing we're doing is getting the table a little cleaned off. Things in boxes can go on the floor. Things that are in ceramic bags get to go on my bed, but they're in anti-static bags. Also, if you guys don't know, I always take my shoes off when working on computers and stuff, because shoes and socks like to build up static. And always, I don't wear the wristband stuff, and I don't do that stuff. I just basically, if I'm touching something in the case like the motherboard, I always keep one hand on the case while I'm doing it to kind of make sure no static shock, keep yourself grounded. One of the good practices. So we've already pretty much pulled up the case apart. I thought this was kind of cool, this like modular effect for the SSDs, and they like stack onto each other. It's pretty neat. The cabling is actually all black. It's all very nice. I think these would be for the hard drives up at the front. Looks like he's not going to be needing a lot of the SATA cables, seeing how they come with. There's your USB 3. Sorry, wasn't aiming there. So yeah, we'll start putting everything together and getting everything set up, and I'll check in again later. Alrighty, so quick thing right here that I was looking at. So a cool feature with this thing is I was setting the motherboard in with the case, and they have this middle standoff, which is hard to see, but there's a little bump, little nub sticking out that fits in the screw hole that keeps the whole thing lined up, so you don't have to sit there and hold it, you know, while you screw the first screw in. It's already got one right there, which I thought was a pretty neat thing. One thing I didn't really care for though, I mean, maybe I'll check the box and see if there's anything there, but right here it looks like it's just left completely open with the hard drives. This is the bottom of the case, and this is just open space and seeing how this fan or this case supports mostly negative air pressure, since we have 2 intakes, 3 outtakes. It might be sucking in air from the bottom, which might be kind of a bad thing, but it's not really going to make a big deal. Just one of the gripes, I guess I would say, is why is it opened underneath, you know, that much. Motherboard, check. Alright, CPU's in. So it was weird because the arrow, if you can see, boink, there's a little arrow right there. It's pointing here, but that's the CPU's arrow is down here, so it's like upside down in the motherboard. I don't know why it's supposed to be doing that, but yeah, it's upside down, so yeah, I don't know, weird. Usually they're installed, you know, the other way around, but that's what the bracket's telling me to install it like, so I don't know. Next we're going on to this, the beefy V8 cooler. So let's go ahead and pop this bitch open, and bam, this thing is fucking huge, like Tron fucking motorcycle thing going down here. That's a beast of a cooler. It is extremely beastly, and these are expensive too. I don't know if you guys know, but this cooler is pretty freaking pricey. It's not a cheap one, and it's really heavy. Yeah, so if anyone's looking for the V8, dude, this thing's heavy and really tall and wide, and get a little smell of that. I imagine that's what like sex with Megan Fox would smell like. That thing is a beast. Probably should put the RAM in first. So when not filling all the memory slots in a motherboard, always check to find out which ones are channel 1 of A, B, C, and in this case D as well, since this is a quad channel. So see, the A1, B1 are the ones we want on that side, and D1, C1 are the ones we want on this side. So that's how you find out. Beast. Alright, possibly the most annoying cooler I've ever installed. RAM came out. Reasons being, at least on the X99 platform, is this heatsink. Hard to see because it's dark, but this heatsink right here, the screw is right behind there. So between that being in the way, the block side of the cooler being in the way, the fins right here so you can't stick your finger in there because there's a heatsink, and then having small access to it, it's right where the tip of my finger is. You guys see my finger? Right there, that's where the screw is. And they give you this, but this isn't really good for like getting the screw on the thread. Like, this thing doesn't help. So yeah, that definitely took a lot of time and was very annoying. So heads up with the V8 cooler on a 2011 socket, man, that shit's annoying. Let's open it up. Ooh, shiny. This is a pretty high-end PSU, so as you can guess, that's a very, very thick cord. Holy crap. So, comes with a nice little baggie with a little cables in it, I'm assuming, and it comes in like this fabric-y, meshy thing, and you can tell it's been there for a while because there's like imprint on the bag of where the fan grill is. So, I am correct. I think this thing will be blue, right? Yep, there's some blue on it. There we go. So this guy definitely decked himself out in some Corsair stuff. Corsair and Asus, a lot of it. I don't know what does that mean. Silent operation, low, moderate. Yeah, okay. So it's got an eco mode, so probably an automatic one. Ooh. Fan test. Ooh. Dang. Little. What is that? Mini USB right there. Okay. And very nice. Very nice power supply. Very good. Very, very good. So this has got to go in there. And I mean, I guess we can do this real quick just for fun. I don't know. We'll do this, I guess. Let me get the hard drive out. Maybe I'll do this in slow motion and play some crazy music. Wait. It's gotta go in the sled first. All the wires are black for the power supply. Very nice. Except this. For the Corsair link. Really, Corsair? Slacking. What's going on here? I personally wouldn't use this, but personally it's not my computer. So, if he wants to use it, I don't know if he wants to use it, which is why I'm going to plug it in case he ever wants to. But yeah, ew, ew, ew. Love these thingies. How to 24 pin. And first time fire up. Very nice, very nice. Obviously a bunch of the fans aren't plugged in yet, but just testing it out. And we have liftoff. F1, get me in that BIOS.